Soft contact versus no contact. Which one makes avoidance come back? When it comes to avoidant partners, people usually fall into two extremes. Either they go completely silent with no contact, or they keep a tiny doorway open through what many call soft contact. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Avoidants don't respond the way you think they will. Their nervous system is wired differently. Silence doesn't always create longing, and communication doesn't always create closeness. Avoidants move toward you when they feel safe, and away from you when they feel pressured. So the real question isn't which method is better. The real question is, which method makes you feel stronger while also making the avoidant feel safe enough to reconnect? And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. Let's start with no contact, the classic strategy everyone runs to after an avoidant pulls away. It sounds powerful, clean, final, like a reset button. But here's the part most people don't understand. Avoidants do not experience silence the same way anxious or secure people do. For an anxious or secure person, silence creates curiosity, worry, longing, and a desire to reconnect. But for an avoidant, silence feels like relief, space, breathing room. Their nervous system calms down because, in their mind, the emotional pressure is gone. And while you're sitting there thinking, they must be missing me, they're often thinking, finally things aren't so intense. That doesn't mean they don't care, but their immediate emotional response is the opposite of what you hope. No contact can work with avoidance, but only if you understand what it actually does. It doesn't trigger fear of losing you. It triggers a reduction of anxiety. It creates emotional distance, something avoidants are already comfortable with. But it also gives them time to reset their internal system. And here's the twist. Avoidants tend to miss people only when they feel completely safe from emotional expectations, meaning the less pressure they feel, the more their real feelings start to surface. So no contact can work, but only when you're not using it as a manipulation technique. When you genuinely detach, focus on yourself, and stop trying to pull emotional validation from them, that's when an avoidant may start remembering your presence in a positive way, rather than associating it with stress. But here's the danger. Most people don't do real no contact. They do performance no contact. They wait. They monitor. They stalk their social media. They sit in anxiety counting the days, hoping it magically pulls the avoidant back. And because the avoidant senses emotional tension, even through silence, this version doesn't work. Real no contact works only when you're not pretending to let go. You're actually letting go. Now let's talk about soft contact, which is a very misunderstood strategy. Soft contact isn't chasing. It isn't staying in their inbox. It isn't constantly reminding them that you're still there. Soft contact is subtle. It's calm. It's presence without pressure. Think of it as, I'm available, but I'm not chasing you. It can be something as simple as replying once in a neutral tone, keeping conversations short, or sending a light message that requires no emotional investment from their side. And the reason this works for many avoidants is because it doesn't trigger their fear of engulfment. It allows connection to exist without making them feel trapped. Here's where things get interesting. Avoidants often fear abandonment, but they fear closeness even more. Soft contact works because it reduces the fear of closeness without activating the fear of abandonment. It keeps the bond alive in a low-pressure environment. It tells the avoidant, I'm not demanding anything from you. I'm not rushing. I'm not expecting. I'm simply here. And when an avoidant feels that combination of safety and space, they're more likely to slowly lean back in. Soft contact also gives you a chance to demonstrate emotional maturity and stability, traits that deeply attract avoidants because these traits make them feel safe. When they feel you're grounded, calm, and not reactive, their internal alarm system relaxes. And when that alarm system relaxes, that's when the avoidant begins to approach you on their own terms. But soft contact comes with a warning. If you use it as a tactic to get them back, it won't work. Avoidance can sense hidden emotional agendas. Soft contact only works when you mean it, when you're not desperate, not attached to their response, and not making them your emotional center. It's not communication to win them over. It's communication to keep the channel open while you genuinely move forward with your life. So now the question becomes, which works better? No contact or soft contact? The answer depends on your situation. If the avoidant is overwhelmed, emotionally flooded, or feels suffocated, no contact is healthier because silence gives them the room they need to regulate themselves. But if the avoidant has already distanced themselves but still maintains some connection, likes your posts, responds briefly, checks your stories, shows micro signs of interest, soft contact is often more effective because it keeps the bond alive without pushing. No contact works best when the relationship has become emotionally heated or unstable. Soft contact works best when the relationship still has an active bond that just needs space to breathe. No contact is a reset. Soft contact is a gentle rebalancing. Here's the most important part. Whichever method you choose, the goal should be the same: to shift your energy back to yourself. Avoidants don't respond to pressure. They don't respond to emotional chasing. They respond to emotional independence. When you're not trying to pull something from them, they finally feel safe enough to show up. When you're not seeking reassurance, they don't feel responsible for your emotions. And when you stop believing that they're the only source of your happiness, the dynamic flips. People make avoidance their emotional center, and then they're confused when the avoidant pulls away. But when you become your emotional center, your peace, your routine, your improvement, your life, the avoidant subconsciously feels the difference. They don't feel trapped. They feel intrigued. They feel drawn in. They feel safer around your energy. And whether you pick no contact or soft contact, the foundation is the same. You have to detach with dignity. So what's the ultimate strategy? Here's the simplest way to put it. Start with soft contact. If the avoidant engages, keep the conversations light, calm, short, and pressure-free. Let them lead. Let them initiate sometimes. Let the relationship breathe. But if they remain distant, non-responsive, cold, or closed off, move to no contact, not to punish them, not to get revenge, but because you deserve reciprocity. Soft contact is an open palm. No contact is a closed door. You open your palm first. If they don't reach for it, you close the door and walk away with your self-respect intact. And here's the final truth. Avoidants don't come back to people who chase them. They come back to people who are emotionally self-sufficient. They come back to people who stop begging for closeness and start giving themselves what they were trying to get from the avoidant. They come back when they feel safe, and safety is created by your calm, not your silence. At the end of the day, the true power isn't in the method you choose, it's in the energy you hold. At the end of the day, remember this: avoidants don't respond to pressure, they respond to peace. Whether you choose no contact or soft contact, the real transformation happens when you shift the focus back to yourself. When you stop chasing and start living, everything changes, including how they see you. If this video gave you clarity, make sure to subscribe and join this community where we decode psychology, relationships, and human behavior every single day. And if you want more content on avoidant attachment, check out the videos linked below. You'll find exactly what you need next. Until then, stay strong, stay centered, and remember, you teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself.